Hello, this is Steffi or Nola again from my cabin in the woods, and today we are going to start with our runes and our divination. And if you're using a set of quartz or crystals, then of course you will already have them around you, or you can look up a deck that sings to you. But what I really want you to do, even if you have those different sets of divination, is to think about creating your own rune deck. And why this is so important to me, and whether you are starting out or whether you are further down this road, is that it's really because they are stones. They have the ability to ground you and to kind of link everything together. So it's just starting with something that can be molded into everything you would like, and that's why I believe it's important to have a set of stones and runes next to whatever other form of divination you are using. And today I will be talking about how you can find them and how you can prepare them for the journey you will go through with them. So I created my first rune deck, I think it was about 8 years ago now, and I just gathered stones from everywhere in the forest, in the garden, and that sang to me. And then I washed them, I gave them their sign, and I started using them. But along those 8 years, and I've actually lost that first deck, so now together with you I am going to need to prepare a new rune set. And along those years I have started thinking about the best way to find your runes and to actually link them together with the sign. So there are two ways of doing this. You can set out to find stones that sing to you and that you would like to use for the purpose of divination and starting to read signs. Or you could wait and listen to the meanings of the runes first and get to know more about them, and then actually decide to go out each week to find one stone that matches the meaning and the symbol you have been working with that week. So if you decide to use the second method, then just read through this message, and whenever you have found your stone and you are ready to start using it, just listen to it again so you can prepare it properly. If you decide to go with the first method and would like to start gathering some of those stones, or just, it's really not a matter of start gathering them, so you might just be out somewhere in the forest, along the beach, just walking in the city, and look down and find a stone that sings to you, that really looks and seems to be screaming, just pick me up, take me home, I'm supposed to be with you. Then of course you don't need to wait to have a meaning linked to it. Just pick up that stone, take it with you, and trust that the meaning will reveal itself to you. And if you have gathered some of those stones, if you have them with you in your pocket, I like to prepare them the following way. I like to be out in the sun, in the open for it. Of course, if it's winter and it's freezing outside, then you might not want to do that, and then indoors is fine. But if you can go outside, that's a lot better. Take your stones with you. Have a special piece of cloth. I don't know if you will be able to see it, but I actually created a little kind of bag for my stones. It's in this lovely bag. And then you can take that with you. Put it on the grass or on the floor. Take the stones out. I have a bit of water with you. Natural spring water is of course the best. And you can do this with your children as well. So if you have little ones at home, it doesn't need to be that serious. You don't have to need that very spiritual, oh, I'm going to do something divine way about you yet. Just make it a family gathering, a family thing of washing your stones. Just the only intention I want you to have is when you put those stones in the water, that you really imagine that everything is washed away. And I know this might get a little tricky, so I don't want you to wash away the meaning of the stone. You won't be able to do that. If you're familiar with crystals, every crystal has its meaning. It is linked to strength, it is linked to the third eye, it is linked to balance. And by washing that stone, of course, you won't take it away. It's the same with every garden or forest stone you find. So you won't be able to take the true power out of the stone. But what you will be doing is washing all that clutter away. So everything that has gotten stuck to it, all the debris, all the natural dirt, but also all the mental dirt that you can imagine around it. So for instance, if you found it by the road, that a lot of cars and polluted air will have gotten attached to it. So that's really what I mean. Just take out all the rubbish and shells that have formed itself around your stone and really take it back to its natural source. Take it back to its natural beauty and make it something that will be able to be molded and be linked to your intention for it. You don't need to have a certain intention for it yet. Just know that you will be using it as a part of your life to translate signs that are out there, to help people form their destiny, find their way. And it really, if you have that sense, then you are totally okay. So wash the stones, then put them on your special piece of cloth or just on a piece of paper. Ideally, leave them to dry in the sun so they will be able to be cleansed by the water and be energized by the sun. That's always the best. If you can't do that, it's a very rainy day and you desperately want to wash those stones, just put them out by the window as close to the sun as they can. And again, if the attention is there, then it will be just as fine as well. Well, that's basically it about washing your stones, and you can link any kind of ritual to it you would like. I'm not sure what kind of ritual I will specifically use, but I don't want to give you a lot more explanations or ideas, just to get your mind going. Just make it your own thing, make it your own process, and really do something that feels good. The only other thing I want to mention today is actually try to be a little realistic. You will be using these stones for divination. You will need to be able to hold them in your hands and use them and roll them around the table. So don't make them too big. And ideally, you will need to be able to put something on it, to put the symbol on it. So I'll just give you some examples. This, for instance, is a very ideal stone. It's a flat surface and it's not too big, so it fits right into your hand. You can hold it to get that meditations from it. You can easily hold it in your bag along with the other runes we are going to create. So it's basically the right size and shape for me. If you go to something like this, for example, then it's really small and you can't see it, but it's actually really thin as well. So it will be very easily get lost, slip right off that pocket you are creating for it, and it's going to be really hard to make some noticeable sign on it. If you feel you need to use it, I actually have one of these that I desperately want to get into my rune set this time. So if you feel you need to use it, then go ahead, keep it guarded, and I will create another video about what to do with it. But if you go out to find them and you are not sure, it's your first time creating these, then you might want to think about getting something bigger and easier to work with. Another stone I have right here, if you want to use gems, this one is not going to be very clear or visible. For instance, if you want to use crystal shape, then you might not want to add a sign on it because it just has that natural meaning of its own. That's okay as well. You can create your very own crystal rune deck, and then you'll just need to be able to get those meanings and those symbols somewhere else. But you will totally recognize them, and it's okay. Just wash them the same way, prepare them the same way, so you will be able to start using them during this video series. If the stones are getting too big, this one for example, you will still be able to hold them in your hand. You will still be able to put your symbol on it. Of course, that won't be a problem. But the problem with this one is that you will have a lot of other stones next to this one. So if you want to do a reading with them, if you just pick one, then it's no problem, of course. If you want to do a reading with 3, 5, or 7 stones, then it will get a lot more difficult to hold them all inside your hands, shuffle them around and throw them. And the weight of this one is a lot heavier than the other ones, so that might influence your reading as well. So that's something else you need to think about if you have that kind of coherence along with your stones. If you want to make them pretty much all of the same size, so you will be able to use them in a sort of complete divination set, or if you just want to create them to pick one stone each day to meditate on or give you guidance, then it's no problem. Then you can use some of these big ones. If not, if you want to do the full reading, then maybe you want to try and get them the same size and shape. Of course, you can go and buy your deck from the internet. But like I said, it's really big meaning to me, and it's really important to me to create my own one, just because stones will help you ground. And if you have linked your own meaning to it, if you have actually, when now looking for these stones, took them home, prepared them through your ritual, cleansing ritual, that's 2 times ritual, okay, but it makes it really important that you are going to cleanse them. If you put the signs on them, either physically or just in your mind, then you will be able to use them a lot faster, a lot easier, and a lot more profound, just because you have made them your own. And of course you can do that with a deck you bought, but it's not going to be the same. So just try it out, try making your own set, and then if you are not satisfied with them, and if you would like to use one of those sets that looks a lot more prettier, that is naturally all the same size or whatever, then by all means go ahead, do that. Just do whatever sings to you, and I'm sure it will be okay. So next time, wow, we already, I feel like I need to be telling some more about it, but it's really, I'm not going to do that because I really just want to have you create your own set and think about it first. So next time we are going to think about what meaning we are going to link to our stones, and maybe also give you some advice about how to put your symbols on them. So I'm really looking forward to see you again, and if you would like, go out and gather some stones. Bye bye.